Hi kids, welcome back to our online class. Today we are going to discuss the social studies chapter called Struggle of Independence. This is from the grade 5. So let's begin. The Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama was the first European to discover a direct sea route from Europe to India, reaching Calicut in Kerala after sailing around Africa over 500 years ago. The Portuguese started trading with India mainly in spices. They were soon followed by Dutch, French, and English traders. Soon they started fighting against each other to get a bigger share of the trade. Finally, the British were able to capture a large part of the market, defeating the others. The British established the East India Company in 1600 to trade in India, mainly dealing in spices and textiles, as trading was their primary focus at that time. The Mughal Empire was beginning to weaken in India. As a result, several regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India. These kingdoms were engaged in constant fights with each other. The British saw in their lack of unity an opportunity to become more than just traders in India. Now they hoped to control the land. The first stage of this was marked by the Battle of Plassey in 1757. In this battle, the British defeated Siraj-ud-Dowla, the Nawab of Bengal. Over the next 100 years, the British extended their control over most of India. They began to take India's wealth to Britain. This supported the Industrial Revolution there. There was discontent in Indian farmers. The farmers in India were forced to grow cash crops like indigo and cotton instead of food crops, which the British bought at very low prices to use in England, leading to farmers' poverty, agricultural decline, and frequent famines. There was also discontent in Indian weavers. Cloth produced in British textile mills was sold in India at cheaper prices than handloom fabric, leading people to buy more machine made cloth and causing the Indian handloom industry to decline, leaving many workers poor and unemployed. There was also discontent in traders. Traders also suffered because of the goods coming from Britain. The Indian rulers were also having a lot of discontent. The British introduced unfair laws to gain control of Indian kingdoms, including one that allowed them to annex a ruler's kingdom if he died without an heir, which angered many Indian rulers. It stated that if an Indian ruler dies without a child, his kingdom will be taken over by the British. There was also discontent in Indian soldiers. Indian soldiers became discontented due to the new rifles that required biting grease bullet cartridges, and a rumor that grease contained cow and pig fat angered both Hindu and Muslim soldiers. This was because Hindus considered cow as holy and Muslims considered pig as unclean. On 29th of March 1857, an Indian soldier named Mangal Pandey attacked a British officer in an army camp of Barakpur near Kolkata. When Mangal Pandey was hanged because of his act on 8th of April 1857, there was a widespread discontent and anger among the Indian soldiers. On 10th May 1857, Indian soldiers in Meerut shot down their officers and took over Meerut. Then they marched to Delhi and persuaded the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar to lead the revolt. The revolt spread rapidly to other parts of India. Different leaders led the revolt in different parts of India. Some of the prominent leaders were Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and Begum Hazrat Mahal. The British, with superior weapons and ammunition, suppressed the revolt, which later came to be known as the First War of Independence. However, the unexpectedly massive scale of revolt shook the British. It led to great changes in the way India was going to be governed henceforth. However, the unexpectedly large scale of revolt shocked the British and led to the major changes in India's governance, as in 1858 the East India Company's rule ended and India came under the direct control of British Crown. It meant that henceforth India was to be ruled by the British Crown. A viceroy was appointed to rule over India on behalf of the Crown. Though the revolt was short-lived, it inspired Indians with the courage of those who fought the British and made them realize the injustice of British rule and the importance of freedom, as well as the strength of unity in achieving independence. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more such videos and more knowledgeable content related to grade 5 and grade 6.